Cleopatra. Just hearing her name brings up images of a seductive queen, golden palaces, and dramatic love stories with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. But what if I told you, almost everything you think you know about her, is wrong? Hollywood shaped her image. Roman writers smeared her reputation. And thousands of years later, we still picture Cleopatra as the ultimate femme fatale, instead of what she truly was. A brilliant strategist, a skilled linguist, and one of the most educated rulers of her time. Today, we're diving into the myth and the reality of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. And by the end, you'll see her in a completely different way. Let's start with the biggest misconception. The popular story says Cleopatra used beauty to manipulate powerful Roman men. But here's the truth: Roman propaganda created that myth. Writers working for Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus, portrayed Cleopatra as a wicked temptress to justify his war against her and Mark Antony. They needed her to look dangerous, immoral, and exotic so the Roman public would support the invasion of Egypt. In reality, Cleopatra lived in a world where political marriages and alliances were normal. Caesar and Antony weren't just romantic partners, they were strategic alliances, crucial for Egypt's survival. Now let's talk about the truth. Cleopatra wasn't famous for her looks. She was famous for her mind. She spoke at least 9 languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Latin. She studied mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, politics, and literature from a young age. In fact, she was the first ruler in her dynasty to actually learn the Egyptian language. That alone made her beloved by the people. She didn't just rule Egypt, she became Egyptian. She wasn't just a queen. She was a trained diplomat, a naval commander, and a skilled economist who improved Egypt's economy during her reign. Cleopatra didn't start life with an easy path to the throne. She became co-ruler with her younger brother, who was only 10 years old, and heavily influenced by advisors who wanted Cleopatra gone. Eventually, she was forced out of Alexandria and fled to Syria. Most rulers would give up right there. But not Cleopatra. She built an army. She prepared for war. And she made a bold plan, to return to Egypt and reclaim the throne with the help of the most powerful man in the world, Julius Caesar. This led to one of her most legendary moments. You've probably heard the story of Cleopatra hiding in a carpet to meet Caesar. Is it true? Maybe. Historians disagree, but what matters is why she did it. Cleopatra needed Caesar's support to take back Egypt. Caesar, in turn, needed Egypt's wealth to fund his campaigns. It was a political partnership, not a Hollywood love story. With Caesar's backing, Cleopatra defeated her brother's forces and regained her throne. She later had a son, Caesarion, whom she hoped would one day rule both Egypt and Rome. That dream died when Caesar was assassinated. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos. 2 major powers emerged, Octavian and Mark Antony. Cleopatra chose Mark Antony. Not because of romance that came later, but because Egypt needed a powerful Roman ally. Antony needed Egypt's wealth. Cleopatra needed Rome's military protection. Once again, a strategic alliance disguised by Roman propaganda as a scandalous love affair. Together, they formed a political and military partnership that terrified Octavian. So, he did what Roman leaders did best. He launched a smear campaign. He painted Antony as a weak man controlled by a dangerous foreign queen. And Cleopatra as the evil seductress trying to steal Rome. This propaganda was so effective that people still believe it today. Octavian declared war not on Antony, but on Cleopatra. That's how seriously he viewed her as a threat. In 31 BCE, during the Battle of Actium, Antony and Cleopatra's fleets were surrounded by Octavian's forces. They attempted to escape, but their army collapsed. With Rome closing in, Cleopatra returned to Alexandria. She tried one last negotiation, offering her riches and influence to Octavian. But he wanted only one thing: Egypt under Roman control. Realizing defeat was inevitable, Cleopatra made a final choice, the choice she's most famous for. Her death. Not from a snake bite, that's another myth, but likely from poison she prepared herself. With her death, a 300-year dynasty ended. And Egypt became a Roman province. So, who was the real Cleopatra? Not a seductress. Not a mythic beauty. Not the Hollywood version at all. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt. A multilingual scholar. A political mastermind. A naval commander who tried to defend her kingdom against the biggest empire on earth. Her story is one of power, intelligence, and survival twisted for centuries by her enemies, and only now being understood for what it truly was.